There we go. And we're starting. Okay.
All right, welcome to Game 2 of Wolfe County Wolves Esports action here between Wolves Blue and the Scott County SCHS C team. Joined here again by Brendan Bush, so we're going to be shoutcasting this matchup. We're going to check in on our champ select here.
Yeah, they already jumped pretty early. So we start with the Scott County band. They banned Blue Team's Oriana and their Draven. So from two of their heavy champions from last game, as well as the Jacks. Meanwhile, we have from the Blue Team banning Nasus, Jin, following finally with a... I'm assuming it's going to be playing with Jungler. No, an Urgot. They banned Blue Team. They banned Scott County's Urgot. All right. So we have first pick now on Blue Team. Or, sorry, Scott County team. Picking another Darius again. Getting rid of Nasus, however, so... Blue Team banning their Nasus, which is a pretty good counter for Darius, but making up with that by picking Kai'Sa. So I'm assuming that's picking Kai'Sa for Blue Team's bot laner, Jarrett. As well as now we have the next pick for Blue Team being... Brand, who's probably going to be the support for Blue Team. Brand's a very heavy aggro support laner, or support champion. If he's played a support, he's usually a mid laner too. But for a support, Brand is a very aggro support. And we have the Evelyn jungle pick by Scott County. Evelyn is a very scary jungler if she gets fed. She is very heavy damage. She's an assassin in the jungle that's invisible, so that's pretty scary if you think about it. Following with their last of their first three picks being a Ryze. So they picked Ryze for their mid lane. Okay. Ryze is one of those champions that can do a lot of damage, and he is a very strong champion if he gets put there. If he gets put there pretty late. Ryze is a champion who's notably by Riot been reworked multiple times because he's the concept of a machine gun champion. And we have a Jace pick. Jace has been a champion that the mid laner for Blue Team has been playing fairly a high amount recently, but hasn't taken it into his tournament games yet, so it'll be exciting to see where this is going to be for this. As we now see the bans, Blue Team banning Vayne as well. Vayne's another, like I said from last game, she's a hyper carry. And we have a Morgana ban. That's three of the champions from the last game that Scott County had to deal with. And the last ban being Nami for Blue Team. So a fairly structured ban, pretty similar to the same bans for Blue Team from last game that they're doing this game. The last ban being Zed. Okay. So now we go to the last two picks for Blue Team and Scott County. Scott County, or Blue Team, is picking, this time, Shaco. Shaco can be a jungler. That's usually where his main lane is, unless you're really good with Shaco and manage to take him in some other lane. And we have a Sivir lock-in for the ADC for Scott County, as they lock in their last champion, who will be most likely their support. As she locks in Lulu again. Okay. So, Scott County's team comp is laid out pretty much exactly like it looks like on the screen, actually. Darius in the top lane, jungling Evelyn, mid lane Ryze, bot lane Sivir with a support Lulu. As we have the last pick for Wolfe County Blue Team being another Nunu. Nunu was a very strong champion, Nunu was a very strong champion in the last game. So it'll be good to see if he can be able to pull up the same amount of team fighting in this game. As we have a top lane Shaco for Blue Team. Cody's been known to be really aggro in his top lane gameplay, and taking Shaco as one of those champions who could be very scary if he manages to get that early lead. For sure. We have the Shaco top lane for Blue Team, Nunu jungle, mid lane Jace, bot lane Kai'Sa with a support Brand.
All right, so we're going to take just a moment here. We're going to go over our starting lineup again. Our starting lineup for our Wolves Blue this season is senior Cody Sargent up top, senior Jarrett White, in ADC, bot lane. Senior Brendan Bush is doing mid lane. And Junior Jeremy McKinney is doing support. Junior Cameron Caskey is doing jungle. We also want to take a few moments here and thank our sponsors. We've had some great sponsors that's helped us out this season, including Appalachian Wireless, Licking Valley Rural Electric, Farmers and Traders Bank of Campton, Whitaker Bank of Campton, and Sweetheart by Stephanie of Campton, Kentucky. So we want to give a huge shout out and thank you to all of our sponsors. As we take a look back here at our Champ Select, we are still in our spectator delay, so we've got just a few minutes here till the matchup starts. Drew, hopefully this next matchup doesn't end in a forfeit. I'd like to see the full match to fruition there instead of a forfeit, but a win's a win, so we'll take it either way.
Yeah. Based on the team comps from last game, it looks like blue team this time has the more early game of team comp of the two teams, being a Kai'Sa bot lane with a Brand support, who are a very scary combo, mind you. Jace mid lane can just potentially have a very scary. He has a pretty decent early game with being the ability to be a really strong lane bully, and having his mid game be absolutely disgusting if he can get to it pretty quick or get to it. Nunu again, because as we saw from last game with Cameron's Nunu, he was very good at ganking, and if he can be able to follow up and give his allies as many successful ganks as he did last game, there should be no problem. In the Shaco top lane, which is a very potentially scary team comp, because Shaco top lane has the ability to spam his technically flash ability, which turns him invisible, so he can take Ignite and be that much more aggro in the top lane. So blue team does have the early game advantage for the most part, but he will have to watch out for Darius with his hemorrhage passive, and Evelyn with her pretty strong burst damage.
So if you're just now joining us, welcome to Wolfe County Wolves Esports action. Make sure you like and subscribe to this video so you can keep up with the Wolves action all season long. Our Wolves Blue is 1-0 on the season, is the match record. They've actually won 2 games last week, and they've won the first matchup of today. So if they win this matchup, their match record will be 2-0, having won 4 games if they can win this one. So we'll see how it goes here. This season's a little different than last season. We actually can have ties. So if it goes 1-1, you actually get credited with a tie instead of a loss. If you lose both matchups, then you're credited with a loss. So the potential this season is a lot different than last season as far as record goes. You can have a winning record, a tie record, and a losing record.
About to hop into the game here. Let's see how this goes in the next few seconds.
Alright, so we're going to transition over here to the loading screen. Still just a few minutes out from the matchup, so hopefully the loading screen goes a little faster this time than it did last time. A little worried last time. It took quite a few minutes. You know, it's going to take a few weeks to get this Wolves Blue team sort of settled in as far as rankings and stuff goes. It's kind of hard early on to see how they fit in with the crowd. When there's 50 teams in the state, right now there's 20-some teams that's tied for first place because they were all 1-0. So hopefully after this week and next week and week 4 and 5, we'll start to really see how they shape up against some of the other teams. If you're not familiar with our Wolves Blue team, last year they finished the regular season 12-0 undefeated, and they went to the Final Four of the state championship. So impressive season. We're hoping to hopefully have a similar season this time, maybe even better, if things go our way. So we are just now waiting on the loading screen. So it looks like Jarrett's chosen to go with the Bullet Angel Kai'Sa, and Cody's going with the Royal Shaco. Oh, and we are in the match here.
That was a lot faster than the last one.
I went 0 to 100 in just a second. Okay, so now this time around, the Wolves Blue is going to be in red. So the characters that have red above their head is our Wolves Blue. And we are starting on the top right, and we'll be moving towards the bottom left. So,
as we see both teams leave their fountain as they go to their respective areas, we see Scott County this time on the like you said, on these time they are actually on the red side of the map with red camp bot lane. But they look like they may be looking for potential invade. No, they are not. They're just going to go ward Pixel Brush in the lower jungle as they go back to secure their jungler's blue buff for them. Or sorry, red buff.
I think you're going to see Scott County play really conservative this time and really try to play their cards just right. They know that if they get too overly aggressive, that the blue team will, or the Wolves Blue will capitalize on it, and it may not end well for them. So,
also noticeably enough, having SCHS in the top lane allows for blue team, for Wolfe County Blues to be able to start with their red buff with Cody throwing a couple of his SCHS boxes in there to help leash.
Kind of a unique moment where almost every single player on the map standing still there, like barely any movement for the next 10 seconds probably.
As they get ready for the spawn of the jungle camps as the minions push up in the lane. And the farming begins. Now we have Scott County farming their red buff for their jungler, as meanwhile Nunu is farming his red buff in the top jungle with the aid of the SCHS boxes. We have Jace mid moving back into lane after watching out, making sure for the potential of being rushed in the jungle by Scott County. We have SCHS on the top lane against Darius. Jace back in the mid lane, poking it out with this bullying potential. SCHS with a couple boxes on the sides, waiting for potential for fight, because those SCHS boxes, if you get chasing into them, will fear the champion who gets pulled into them. So there's always that to worry about. Oh, hit him taking damage from the SCHS box, getting rid of his bone plating on Darius. Landing a Q on SCHS, who's already level 2. Oh, they both just now hit level 2. Darius landing another Q on SCHS there. SCHS already down most of his mana, being a pretty mana-reliant champion. Jace getting his electrocute off in the mid lane on the rise. With extra burst damage there. And we see that blue team bot lane has already been pushed pretty heavily. Okay, Blue's landing some damage on Sivir, getting her about half health, forcing them back a little bit and letting the minion wave push back up. So it's a good trade on the damage. Oh, and we see the Evelyn gank from Scott County early. Landing the Q. Oh, and she lands the charm and burst. Oh, and with the polymorph on Kai'Sa, forcing her flash, but getting killed by the Sivir. As we see, though, blue team ganking top lane with the Ignite finishing off the Darius. So it's a 1-for-1 trade, but sadly first blood was given to Scott County. So surprisingly enough, as conservative as you would expect them to play, them actually getting first blood was a completely unexpected turnaround there for Scott County. As we see Nunu cutting back into the mid lane, trying to get through there pretty quickly, moving towards his bottom jungle. We see Evelyn moving towards her top jungle now. As the support Brand decides to freeze lane for his Kai'Sa to get back up to. Oh, as we see Jace going in on mid lane on the rise, landing most of his abilities and missing the Q for a potentially easy kill, but managing to burst him down just enough to make him back off. Nunu farming his jungle, getting his blue buff secured pretty easily without any resistance, moving towards his wolves now. As bot lane is pushed back a little bit on their side of the... But as blue team's bot side is being pushed back a little bit, we see Jace moving up, warding his bot side, warding his bottom middle lane bush, as Evelyn secures her blue buff. Brand throwing his Pillar of Flame down, being shielded, however, by Lulu, so Sivir's not going to take that much damage from it. Jason in the mid lane being very aggro on the no mana Rise. Rise sitting there, absolutely no mana in the mid lane.
As we approach the 5-minute mark here, looks like the Wolves Blue has a 300 gold lead, and it's still tied 1-1. So early on here, pretty even matchup.
As we see the blue team Nunu going in for the early jungle, or the early Drake again. This time going for the Ocean Drake.
They better watch out for the steal, because Scott County could sneak up real easily there. It looks like a couple of
Their
Scott
junglers
County.
coming. It looks like Scott County's junglers coming in from the side, as well as Lulu coming over the wall, being able to secure the dragon, potentially, and they secure the dragon with a Kaiser Q. Oh, we see Evelyn landing the charm on Brand. Brand getting hit. Brand flashing away. Jace coming in with the follow-up on Evelyn. Getting bursted by 3 people. And securing the kill on the Evelyn as he has to flash away from the other 3 people to get away. But he manages to secure the kill without any casualty on their side.
Nice
and they
job.
get Dragon. So a good trade on blue team's part.
Good job there, Brandon, getting a kill right there.
Going back to mid lane at at half health. It's a little risky, but he doesn't have to worry about the tier of. But however, it looks like he's being ganked from the enemy bot laner. Throwing a Q, an enhanced Q, landing it on Rise there, barely, but securing about chunking him down about a quarter of his health. However, it has no farm, and he needs to wait to push back up. As the enemy Lulu, Scott County's Lulu, decides to move back down to bot lane with the Sivir. Shaco having a very strong push top lane with a controlled ward set against the... and we see a Jace going in on the engage. We see Nunu coming in from the side, forcing
so
Rise
close.
to flash, which is perfectly fine. But Rise... Okay. I thought I was going in there for a second. Evelyn's on her Raptor side in her jungle, so she could have fairly easily come back up to follow up to a counter gank there. Alright, we do see Brennan in the mid lane backing. Score's currently 1-2 with a almost 2k gold lead on blue team's part. This early in the game is a pretty impressive lead. Okay, now it's fallen down by a 1.2k gold lead.
Cody up top, had a 1 level lead there for a few moments. If he could, yeah, back to that 1 level lead. If he can capitalize on this and get a few good hits in on Darius, that'd be awesome.
Three of the other lanes, however, having to reset, 3 of the other champions having to reset, being Jace having to back from his low health, as well as Kai'Sa and Brand having to back too, allowing for bot lane to push up pretty closely to tower. As we see Nunu coming with the gank in the mid lane, getting rooted by Rise, but getting killed by Jace. Jace securing that kill mid lane. That's another great gank on part from Cameron. Shaco keeping the pressure on the top lane against Darius. Being that Nunu going into the jungle, the enemy jungle for Evelyn. Landing the snowball again, bursting down. Are we going to see a Jace? So a flash from Evelyn. Jace coming in with the follow-up. Is he going to be able to follow up? And he lands the Q with the W in the slam to secure the kill. Mid lane absolutely killing it this game. The mid lane and jungling working together on the blue team is just absolutely, it's beautiful to look at. As we see now, Shaco continuing. Shaco relieving some of the pressure he had top lane, forcing the minions having to come back up so he can farm pretty easily. As we see Nunu and Sivir walking right past the bush with Nunu in it. Now we see Shaco getting another Q landed on him by Darius. Shaco has a lot of pressure in the top lane. He has those bushes on the side, keeping up. His threat of being ganked from Evelyn being reduced pretty severely. Oh, as he gets pulled by Darius though under his tower, forcing him to use his E to get away. Or his W, which is his invisibility.
Yeah.
Jace with that constant pressure in the mid lane, as his reputation is for being a lane bully, is clearly showing from his gameplay here. We see maybe some potential action down on the bot lane here, or is it just some pushing? We see Shaco moving back up to the top lane. Minion waves are getting cut pretty thin now in the bot lane, as Kai'Sa just wipes out an almost entire half a wave with everything. Oh, we have the Brand landing the stun. Kai'Sa with the follow-up with the ulti, but getting... appears to be rooted. Oh, burning a flash from Lulu. Oh, Brand almost dying from the Sivir Q. We now have an over 2k gold lead on the blue team. On Wolfe County Blue's side.
Yeah, it looks like about 2.3, 2.2 gold lead. And a 4-1 kill lead as well. So, after 10 minutes here, the Wolves Blue starting to see some momentum here. we'll see the tower shields fall in about 3 minutes and 50 seconds. So
we see blue teams stealing the jungler's blue buff from Scott County, securing that pretty easily, giving that to. Oh, did they steal it? I don't see anyone with the blue buff. I think Nunu stole it. Nope, SCHS got the blue buff. SCHS securing the blue buff. As we see Nunu going in, landing the smite on Evelyn to slow her down. He's going to try and chase her constantly, or chasing up with her. She can't escape. He gets this auto attack off on her. She's managing to get. As she walks away, he lands a snowball on her with a snowball barrage. As Brand follows up from behind, and he's in their enemy jungle, getting pretty badly. Rise going over the wall as a Darius ulti. As we see Nunu getting really, but we see Jace following up. Securing the kill on Rise. This Nunu gets killed by Evelyn.
And they are both going to back up because they don't want to mess with that mid lane right now.
Yeah. Jace is a very scary person at this point in the game. Currently sitting with a score of 4-0 right now. Having some free farm in the mid lane because of his lack of having anyone contesting him at this point. Pushing up now to tower to potentially take down some tower plating. As he secures one tower plating for at least managing to get something out of it.
So it looks like we got some bounties on mid lane and is that bot lane?
Yeah.
And bot lane. So
Jarrett's Kaiser having a 450 gold bounty, meanwhile Brennan's Jace mid lane having a 700 gold bounty. Either of those would be a rather large, boost for the Scott County. But Evelyn taking a lot of damage from the SCHS box. A really bad situation there for her in her own jungle too. That's just rubbing salt in the wound, if anything. In your own jungle. As we see Jace, mid lane Jace moving up into the enemy jungle. He's following up, he sees the Evelyn, he goes and landing the enhanced Q, getting an auto attack off. Is he going to get another one off before she gets out of range? And he's going to follow her, and he lands the Q for the kill in her own jungle, allowing her, giving her no pressure at all. As Wolfe County Blue secures another dragon. This time it appears to be a Cloud Drake.
Brendan's having another amazing game. 2 games in a row here. He's really just feeling it.
Darius landing an E as well as a W, missing the Q, however, as SCHS manages to get his quote-unquote flash away from it. You see Jace in the mid lane with some more pressure as Rise is moving back now into mid lane finally. See Nuda coming back up towards mid lane as he's appears to be securing Scuttle Crab to get that extra vision in the bot lane. Jago getting connected with another, actually getting the Q to connect on him this time from Darius. Jace now managed to back and successfully purchase U-moves, which is a big damage boost on his part, giving him a movement speed buff and just extra damage to people.
Oh, and he lands a snowball.
Getting rooted, however, so he has to sadly back off and won't be able to win much of that trade. Nudu keeping the pressure in the mid lane for Jace while he's gone as he comes back in the lane. Oh, we see Evelyn coming in the top lane. Darius being forced to flash, having no mana, however. And we see SCHS burning his flash, or his ulti. SCHS ulting the top lane, as we see bot lane also getting engaged on. Sivir flashing and ulting.
Oh!
Boosted down by Kai'Sa as they turn it around and give them a 2 kills bot lane.
And they get the top lane.
Top lane also coming in for that surprise turnaround, with Nudu coming up top lane to stop the Evelyn Darius from getting him. As SCHS ultimate is a very scary thing, giving him that clone, which you could use for a lot of utility. A lot of juking.
This plate's going to fall in like 9 seconds, 8 seconds, 7. If they
might potentially be able to get 2 plates out of this. Oh, sadly, they're not going to be able to get that last little bit of plating as it falls.
The plating falls, so if they could jump in there and get that tower.
Currently, the score is 10-2 with a 3.5.
5.7.
5.7K lead gold lead for blue team.
Almost 6,000 gold lead now. 10-2 kill
as they go to secure the Rift Herald now. They secure this gives them again another massive amount of push potential. Brain securing haunting guys as Kai'Sa gets IE. Kai'Sa getting IE is a huge damage boost for her, and as well as Bran getting his haunting guys, as well as he builds that into eventually getting that built to Lyanders will give him a huge boosted burn damage, which would be great for that aggro in the bot lane.
Can he land a snowball?
And he hits him with a snowball, just a little bit of disrespect under his tower as Evelyn secures her red buff. Nunu sitting in the top lane, sitting back potentially, I think, removing a ward. As mid lane, Jace is just, sitting there. taking all that extra getting that pressure up in the mid lane. As he's getting a 4-man gank on him, Evelyn getting up there, hitting him with that polymorph, Lulu ulting herself as Evelyn hits, and Lulu securing the kill. Out of all the people in that team fight to get that kill, Lulu is the one who probably did not need it at all. Shaco getting ulted by Darius, getting hit with the Q, W combo, 4-man. Evelyn potentially moving up as Rift Herald takes that tower. So blue team sadly did lose their mid laner in a 4-man gank, but they did in that process, however, get a tower.
Yes.
So it could potentially been, but that was a heavy shutdown though for the gold value, and that was a huge gold boost. But for all the people getting it, Lulu was the one who probably, at least the person on their team who really needed that shutdown.
But the Wolves Blue still has almost a 5,000 gold lead at this point.
Darius sits top lane trying to force that wave back. Evelyn in her jungle smiting. Nunu following up, trying to chase her.
Cameron trying to get the kill here in the jungle.
Okay, getting bursting down. And Evelyn having to ult away to save herself. As Rise comes in from the mid lane, trying to force Nunu out of their jungle. As Darius also following in. Getting that WE combo. Getting rooted. Nunu ulting to slow them as he runs away. With Jace following up. Pretty suit with Shaco. Shaco's going down that Rise, landing her Q. Oh, with the Proto Belt follow-up. Throwing down his clown. Jace following heavily. Throwing the Q for the kill.
Nice.
That
kill.
that bully of that mid laner. And Shaco getting the kill on Darius top lane. Jace back in the mid lane now. Pushing down towards bot lane to board that bush. As he moves toward Evelyn.
It looks like this bot tower's getting ready to fall here.
Yeah, as Wolfe Blue secures the bot lane, giving the tower, as Brand secures the bot lane tower with an assist from Kai'Sa. They managed to get that fairly easily without any resistance. Now the enemy bot laner. Oh, and we see a gank from the Evelyn from the bot lane. Kai'Sa bursting her Q, getting charmed by Evelyn. Polymorph on Lulu, or Lulu throwing at him, and Sivir securing the kill on Kai'Sa. Brand trying to run away, but he's not going to be able to escape as he gets 3-man. But without getting the ulti off on Sivir. Oh, we have Shaco coming in bot lane, securing the kill with the Proto Belt, and bursting down with crit, and securing the kill on Evelyn. So a 2-for-2 trade in the bot lane.
And looks like Cody and Brendan's trying
3-for-2 bot lane trade. So it's actually blue team came out positive on that trade as Wolfe Blue manages to go and secure the dragon. This time I think they're getting another, as they secure another Cloud Drake. We see Shaco moving up mid lane. Nunu following up with a gank. Bursting right under his own tower, getting rooted. Biting him down. Jace coming in under tower, going absolutely ham. Oh, but not getting able to get the kill. Is he going to die from tower damage? No, he managed to escape with a sliver of health. Actually, about a quarter of his health. As we see now, Lulu and Sivir in the mid lane, with Evelyn follow up closely behind. Shaco in the bot lane jungle, with a bunch of his Shaco boxes in that bush. Is warded and now managed to remove that ward. You see now Darius moving in, about to get in a 3-man gank, getting bursted down by Shaco, Brand, and Nunu. The kill being secured though by Brand. Like they're gonna try and go do something in the mid lane, but they have not much minion pressure mid lane, so they're gonna have to back off. As Scott Candy forces them back a little bit. Shaco going down in the bot lane, forcing Evelyn to flash. Nunu coming in.
They should be able to take this mid lane tower
as we
here.
see them engage under tower. Nunu with the ulti. Jace coming up with a follow-up. Isaac securing kill. Sivir killing Nunu, however. Jace throwing that Q, missing, and having to force back. A 2-for-1 trade under their tower. Kai'Sa having to flash out of that, but managing to escape with no noticeable amount of damage.
Scott County really doing a good job defending this tower here in this mid lane.
It's a far improvement over their last game. Securing those kills with that early gank on bot lane.
Although, as we approach the 20-minute mark, Wolves Blue has a 8,000 gold lead and a 18-6 kill count lead.
As well as having 3 towers to Scott County 0.
So impressive battle by both teams, but the Wolves Blue is just Really, really doing a great job this game in mid lane, top lane, all over the map. Cameron getting that red buff again.
Lulu down in the bot jungle, removing that control ward out of bot lane bush. As Shaco takes the blue buff for blue team as he needs it.
I'm surprised the Wolves blue has.
You see Nunu just walking into an Evelynn by surprise. Probably wasn't expecting that at all as he manages to get off the snowball barrage, as forcing her to ult behind her to run away.
And
Jace with the burst top lane taking down Darius for another kill. As we see bot lane getting another kill on Lulu. Jace being an absolute monster this game. As we see.
Surprised they haven't went for.
It appears here that Kai'Sa and Bran might be going for another free kill or attempt to get another kill on Sivir in the bot lane.
Looks like Baron here. They might be going.
But they might be setting up for Baron as they set up, and Nunu and Jace engage or initiate Baron.
And here comes the other.
As well as the rest of the blue team following up. We see Bran following up pretty close suit, as well as Kai'Sa, and finally finishing up being Shaco, or potentially Shaco setting up some little bit of defense around him to make sure no one could get close enough to have potential stealing.
Like he's kinda...
As we see Evelynn moving up into the top jungle, Ryze potentially following suit, as they don't even notice, but blue team securing a completely open and free Baron. That is a huge power spike for blue team that already didn't really need that power spike. As Shaco goes in on Darius over the wall, getting the fear off on his boxes, throwing his ulti, proto-belting, igniting, and finishing off him. As they go in on the team fight, then bursting Bran, securing the kill on Evelynn. As they're going to get another mid lane tower. That's second mid lane tower coming down. As they're moving into the third mid lane tower, while Shaco's top lane trying to get that second top lane turret as Lulu defends. But Bran, him taking a lot of damage. As he secures the tower.
And the top tower falls.
And getting polymorphed while doing so. But he'll be able to get into the problem. As Lulu being forced to flash away from the Nunu coming in behind. Ryze landing the root. Bran with the Pillar of Flame. Nunu blowing the ulti, but sadly not being able to hit anything on it, which is fine. Sivir with another Q thrown out. Snowball barrage by Nunu. Doesn't manage to get anything out of it, though.
Good defense by Scott County here, teaming up and pushing the Wolves blue back.
Keep them from getting any more pressure on that top lane. Meanwhile, having about a third of their mid lane tower being taken down. But the advantage is they're on the base now, so those turrets can heal if they don't get taken down. As we see, Wolfpack Blues now going for another Ocean Drake. They'll be at a 4-0 Dragon lead now on Scott County. As they secure the Dragon completely uncontested. Jace now moving up to mid lane as everyone else is backing. Some rather scary purchases. Kai'Sa managing to get a Goonsu's Nunu with his Speared Visage. Jace having the Black Cleaver for an extra damage boost. Giving him as well some pretty good tank. Shaco coming in with Jace in the mid lane to help get some of that pushing potential up. As they get pushed back, or as they meet some resistance by Sivir and Evelynn on the side, who they probably have no vision of Evelynn.
And that mid tower's taking a lot of heat, a lot of damage right there.
2/3 of that tower now gone. As we see a little of a... we see the charm being placed on Shaco, but not going to be followed up because she's out of range by Evelynn. You see now the entire blue team is now mid lane as well, so both 5-on-5 teams are there. As Shaco throws out his clone, Nunu going with the ulti, Jay securing a kill on Evelynn. As Shaco kills Lulu, Kai'Sa securing the kill on Darius. Sorry, Sivir forcing herself to ult and run away, stamming her and Ryze.
As they take
Kai'Sa going back in, landing another Q, getting rooted by Ryze. Oh, and dying to the Sivir, sadly. But they managed to gain a tower and an inhib out of it, as well as they move towards top lane tower to secure that tower and inhib as well.
And it looks like that top tower is going to fall. Can they get the inhibitor as well?
They don't have much of a menu wave behind them, but they don't need that for the inhib as they manage to secure it, no problem. Good job. Now, Shaco throwing a dagger. Sadly, 3 of them getting hit by the Q from Sivir. Shaco backing, Bran backing as well. Jace moving up towards mid lane. Shaco actually not designing the back, coming in mid lane now, throwing a blown over the. Jace throwing the enhanced Q,
close.
almost managing to take out Lulu, but sadly she was just out of range of it, and Evelyn taking the brunt of the damage from it. As we see Shaco going over the wall invisible. Coming back in, Jace staying mid lane, getting the charm thrown on, but not having anyone to come in behind him to get charmed. Nudi's back in their base as he moves up. Brandon Kaiser following up short, coming into mid lane now. As the entirety of Scott County has to defend now to keep themselves from getting got. And, meanwhile, their own red buff getting taken by what appears to be Brand, I think. Brand took a red buff? A red buff? No. Yeah, Brand securing red buff, giving a lot of damage there to Lulu.
Looks like they're moving down to the bot lane to try to take that bot tower.
Now, the entirety of Wolfe County Blue team pushing up bot lane, securing another tower. That is the second bot lane tower gone. It is now a 8-tower-to-nothing lead from Blue team.
Well, they've also got about a 1,400 gold lead, 14,000 gold lead. Sorry, 14,000 gold lead.
As they manage to burst down Darius dying to the Brand. Evelyn burst going in on, but getting killed immediately by Jace. The snowball landing on Lulu, Jace securing that kill as well. Sivir having to ult, Jace landing his Q on her. Nunu going in, they're going to follow and try to get the kill. Jace securing a triple kill with his auto attacks on her. As they push now, getting the first of the base of the Nexus turrets, getting the second of the Nexus turrets. Kaiser with some attempted burst right there, not be able to doing anything. Rise will not be able to stop them as they all five push up and end the game. 29-7 lead with a 16,000 gold difference, 10-0 tower, absolutely monstrous, and that is a victory for Blue team.
Great win by the Wolves Blue today against Scott County. Great matchup. You know, Scott County put up a real good fight there, but it just wasn't enough for our Wolves Blue. All right. So we will be back momentarily with our player of the game. Okay. Jeremy.
Yeah.
Okay. You want?
Yeah.
All right, we are here with Jeremy McKinney, our support. Great match, Jeremy. You did a great job. I'm glad to finally have you in the hot seat here. It's been a few matches, but you finished 5-1-9, so you were a critical part of that win by the Wolves Blue against Scott County. So what was going through your mind in that matchup?
We saw how they played last match, and Cameron was tank, and I just decided to go damage just so we could shred them really fast.
So they didn't surrender this time. We got to play the full matchup. Brendan coming in there had a great matchup as well. So,
yeah, Brendan did great. Brendan was I didn't even realize. I looked at my tab menu and he was 5-0 at the very start of the match, and I was like, oh, okay.
What do you think about the bans? They come out with banning 3 or 4 of your players from last match.
Yeah, they left Jarrett's best character open, and they didn't expect me to play Brand. I don't play Brand much, but I know that I'm all right with him.
So, what are your thoughts for the rest of the season? You got any insights as to?
I think we're going to do good this season. We're doing really well right now.
A lot of chemistry. You know, Cameron's our shot caller and our sort of our captain, team captain.
Yeah, Cameron's a great shot caller. You can see he's all over the map. He's 1, 2, and 15 right there.
That snowball was everywhere.
Yeah.
I mean, it just seemed like every minute or two it was coming in, hitting the enemy. So, all right. Well, Jeremy, congratulations. Good job.
Thank you.
And we'll see you next time. So,
All right.
we're going to sign off here from Wolfe County High School. Thanks, everybody, for watching us, watching the Wolfe County Wolves esports action. Until next week, take care.